Here we go.
And there we go.
Boom.
Well, what do you
Boom,
know? We're
shakalaka.
live.
Yeah,
Yeah, we are
we
live yet
are.
again for
Yes.
another episode of Tuesday Night Dreaming.
Tuesday night dreaming.
Tuesday Night Dreaming. Yeah, maybe we need someone to make us like an official intro video,
Tuesday night dreaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Welcome to
So,
Tuesday night.
welcome to Tuesday night. If you didn't know it was Tuesday night, then welcome to knowing that it's Tuesday night.
Well, and one of the things that was always exciting back in California was Taco Tuesday, which they have other places than just California. We always have
Yeah, yeah,
$2 Taco Tuesday. That
yeah.
it's probably $3 now, but
No, it's
$2
probably more,
Taco
probably more
Tuesday.
than that, Dad. Come on.
Well, no, because I was at a place the other night for Taco Tuesday. It was.
Oh, what they're killing these gas stations are making. They might as well give away a free taco on Tuesday.
That's
when
true.
You
They're
think,
making
right?
a fortune these days. Yeah, taking us all to the
Yeah,
cleaners.
yeah. That's right. That's right.
But so Tuesday night dreaming, or Taco Tuesday, whichever someone would like
Yeah,
it.
or you could put both of them together. Have
You could dream
tacos
about
while you're.
tacos.
You could
Some
dream
people
about
do.
tacos. That's right. Maybe
Yeah.
that'll be our theme for tonight. We'll see if anybody has
Well,
taco
yeah, we'll
dreams.
see if anybody has. If they have taco
Yeah.
dreams.
That's right. Great to see Lean. Great to see Ray. I know we have some dreams of both of them. I think right to
Let
jump
me
into.
share. I forgot to share.
Yeah, share the yeah. So welcome where we talk and try and wrestle through and figure out the mysteries of the night season. That's Tuesday Night Dreaming, a live dream interpretation show. So we're take dreams and questions from you, the viewers. You guys post them in your comments. You guys send them to us as messages. And riddles that are occurring while you're sleeping, and we do our best to help make some sense of them. And so here we are on Tuesday night.
Spaghetti.
I could go for that. Depends on.
You're doing it again, Josh.
Okay. I'll try. We're having some technical issues.
Well, Josh is.
Yeah, I am. That's true. Yes, Taco Dream Tuesday. Ray is all over it. That's right. Yes. Yeah, that's right. I would be all over it too. Yeah, and you get good tacos in California, so not so much in Canada as much. So
they're not too bad here in Florida.
Yeah. So we missed last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So here we are, back at it on Tuesday night. So what's new in Florida, Pops?
It's been raining all day today.
Oh,
it's just
okay.
it's you know what? I told Teresa, it looks like we're in Seattle until you walk outside.
Oh, yeah, and then you've got the humidity. You don't get that in Seattle.
You don't get Seattle weather. You just get Seattle rain.
No. I mean, Seattle can get humid, but not like that.
No.
So yeah, that's right. That would be.
It's been that, and I just hanging out, enjoying Pensacola, finding new places, going camping tomorrow.
Oh yeah, going camping tomorrow. You were telling me about that.
Yeah, going to a water park, RV water park. We'll see how that works. Brand new. Yep.
Yeah, and you got a special day tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow is my anniversary, 20 years.
That's right. There you go. Man, that has gone fast. 20 years.
It has.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Great to see Marlene, Deanna jumping on. Wonderful to see everybody. Mary Quinlan. We appreciate Karen's bringing the spaghetti to the table.
Spaghetti on a Tuesday is good.
That's right. That's right. Karen, I will be in Vernon September 19, 2021, I think, actually. So we should plan to get together. I think you're right around there, right? Yeah, we should plan to get together. The general conference for one of the organizations I'm involved with, CMA, is the gathering is September. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 19, 20, 21, I think are the dates. So I will be in your neck of the woods. Yep.
Yeah.
There we go. So we'll communicate, Karen, and we'll figure something out.
What's going on with Win Ministries. Anything exciting coming up?
Well, we've got a number of things
Yeah.
coming down the pipe pretty quick. We've just actually made some official announcements through some of our private channels, our dream group that we follow along with on Facebook. And yeah, Karen, I'll be staying at the conference center, the Vernon Best Western Conference Center. I don't think it's Best Western anymore, but that's right where the conference center is. But I will be right down there, so we'll be able to get hang out a little bit. Maybe we can invite Gunn out and see. Last time I was there, he had a few prophetic words for me that were very helpful. Anyway, so you were saying what's coming down the pipe? Yes, we have officially now a landing page, course page, event page with all the information up, all except for my dad's. He's supposed to write a bio about himself, and I don't think he can do that very well. So there's a placeholder bio that originally was just a bunch of Latin phrases, which probably would have been appropriate, but
Worked out. Yeah, that would work. I could have just translated it for you.
yes. So it is the information is there though, but you won't find my dad or Teresa's bio yet. So, but I wanted to make sure we got this out to the
Teresa has written her bio though.
Yes. And here it is. You can register now. Healing the Wounded Heart. It'll be a 2-day online seminar, 4 sessions, 4 main presenters. That's myself, my father, that's Ken, the guy right over there. My wife, Erin, who many of you have seen, of course, on our Thursday Q&A sessions, which we've got some restructuring of that coming down the pipe. Erin will be presenting, and so will Teresa, who my dad's wife. She will be presenting as well, and we'll be going through issues pertaining to healing, and everywhere from topics ranging from really practical application, which can be, super helpful for people. How do you go about preparing yourself? How do you go about preparing yourself, one, to administer inner healing? How do you go about preparing yourself to receive this kind of stuff? Down to how do we look at the rhythms of the spiritual life and building capacity to receive from the Father's heart to bring healing. So we've got a full spate of topics, Q&A, exercises, group discussion, all these kind of things. So I'm really looking forward to it. Any of you that have been part of the seminars we've done in the past, like the Becoming a Non-Anxious Presence seminar we did earlier in the year with Ron Huxley and Murray Dewick, or the Living a Spiritual Life or Becoming Spiritual, I think we called it, last year with Steve Schroeder and Murray Dewick. So Healing the Wounded Heart, it'll be very similar in terms of format, but topically, of course, much different. And so that's that. We're also getting set to launch. We're also getting set to launch an inner healing component of Wind, where we're launching Erin and Teresa. They've been working Teresa for a long time, and Erin's been just getting up to speed with a inner healing ministry called Heart Sync Ministries that we really like. So all that stuff's coming down the pipe. We've got some,
and it'll be like a Zoom type of an offering. So
that's right. We'll be online webinar.
We've discovered we can really do it well by doing that. Yeah.
Yes, we can really. All the sessions will be recorded. They'll be made available.
Well, no, not the healing. I'm talking about if people are looking for healing sessions.
Oh, yeah.
Those are going to be. So in other words, if someone's saying, well, I can't come to Canada or I can't come to Florida.
Yes.
No, we will come to you via the
digitally.
Internet.
Yes. Digitally. Yes. And so that the official announcement for that will be coming hopefully in the next few weeks. We've been hard at work on the website and the structure behind the scenes and getting all of that taken care of. So that is definitely coming. And but the Healing the Wounded Heart seminar, the registration page is live, so you can visit that there in the comments. And I think it'll be a great time. And again, as with all these things, if finances is an issue in terms of the registration cost, just send us a message and we will work with you, because we never want especially the way the economy's gone in the last couple of years, we don't want the your inability to afford something to preclude you from receiving what the Lord would have for you. So we're always willing to work with people, given their financial situation. So, and we've had people reach out and they will offer to sponsor different people, that kind of stuff. So
Always helpful. Yeah.
yeah, always helpful. So some people just can't afford it. That's what's happened in the last couple of years.
And one of the
in
things,
general.
one of the things that's really, one of the reasons we do these sorts of events is we've noticed that those who do the work in soul care is what you might call it.
Sure. It's kind of a
In other words,
popular term out nowadays.
yeah. I mean, if you're doing spiritual formation, or you're addressing the unforgiveness in your heart, or some of the things that are there that get in the way.
Yeah.
People that learn how to do that well are also find that they're able to. Sorry, I'm grabbing a dream real quick here before it goes
You
away.
do that. All right.
There we go. That they go so much faster in that healing process when they start really looking at and addressing more deeper traumas that have gotten in the way.
Right.
So if you can find ways to build capacity, and that's what we'll talk about in that, if we can help you find ways to build capacity so that you can prepare yourself for healing, then healing goes so much faster because you've done the work that's required to get there.
Yeah.
And I find those who don't do the work tend to struggle. Those who do the work go so much faster, which only makes sense. But
and
you need to know how to do it. Yeah.
By work, we're not necessarily talking about something that I mean, there's effort, not something that's complicated.
Right.
The work we're talking about isn't complicated. It could in a general sense be summed up in practicing attachment to the Father's heart.
Yeah.
And there's lots of different nuances to that, but that creates and Jesus talked about this, right? When he says, hearing they hear not, seeing they see not. If they heard and they saw, they would turn their hearts and they would find healing.
Yeah.
When he talks about their inability to recognize what he's doing, or inability to recognize how God's moving. And so we see healing is intimately connected to hearing the Father and seeing the Father, and Jesus being the image of the Father, right? And so practicing ways to hear and see, or connect and attach our heart lifted to him, can be a significant step towards actually preparing your heart to receive healing. And there's a process and a journey there. So, yeah, but there's this, I love what I'm seeing in the broader sense of the kind of prophetic crowd, narrow down the prophetic crowd to not the crazy prophet following people, to the people that I approve of.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a shorter list than you might think.
It is a shorter list than you might think. Yeah, unfortunately. That's partly that's a good thing, partly that just betrays my kind of callousness sometimes. Yeah. But I love what we're kind of seeing, this convergence of prophetic types hearing the voice of God with these spiritual formation types where they never really crossed paths too much. A whole lot in the last 30, 40 years, right? You had the kind of Dallas Willard theological spiritual formation camp, and then you had the charismatic prophecy camp. And now we're starting to find some kind, and then you also had the third inner healing camp, right? That kind of followed through the line of maybe John and Paul Sanford and things like that. And maybe they got involved in Sozo ministry or Elijah House or Restoring the Ancient Paths or something like that, Emmanuel prayer approaches, things like that. But you're starting to see this convergence between those three different camps, which I think is absolutely vital, because you can't find healing, right, without spiritual formation, because we need to practice attachment, which is essentially what spiritual formation hands us, right? And then all of those things dovetail in with hearing the Father's voice, and then especially being sensitive to the Spirit and what he's saying in moments where you can bring healing to others. Like, I could just see the convergence. It's like, duh, why wouldn't we have seen this before? But it's starting to come together. I did a podcast, an interview on a podcast with talking about, I don't have Oh, I can't do my little sly holding the transformation book up. I don't have it right in front of me. Did an interview on a podcast talking about the transformation book, a podcast called Face to Face, and they're doing a good job of bringing those kind of people together.
Yeah.
And if you look at Face to Face Ministries podcast, I think is what it's called. You can find that on all the podcasting. You can find it on YouTube also. I did an interview I did the interview a couple months ago, but it just came out a week or two ago. 2-part interview, but they've been doing a really good job bringing in all of those different camps, talking about how it all comes together. Yeah, and I think they're really making some headway in that sense. I like the kind of conversations they're hosting, and it was a joy to get to know them a little bit. So yeah, check out Face to Face Ministries podcast, and you'll see a number of different voices coming on talking about, kind of dovetailing around those things. So yeah, Marlene, they've got some great stuff. I found out about them a couple years ago when they interviewed Father Andy Miller, the Anglican priest who started HeartSync, and then kind of caught up with them every now and then, but ended up on the podcast. So that was fun to finally connect with them and see them. So
That's cool.
yeah.
Hey, we've got some dreams.
All right. Yeah. Well, this is a dream show, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Yeah, that's right.
I just wanted to remind you of that. This is a dream.
Yeah, everybody, if you're just tuning in, hit the like button, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, whichever. We're live on YouTube and Facebook. And take a second and share the video to your Facebook wall. I'm wondering with Ray, can we bring Ray in to the show?
You have to ask.
This is what I'm going to do. Okay, we're going to start going through some dreams. I'm going to put the link to come in if you have a shorter dream you want to have interpreted. We have a couple docked up via text, but you can just click the link that's just popping up in the comment section now. That'll bring you into the waiting room for the show, and then we can bring you on and maybe we have questions about the dream. We can talk to you about the dream. That kind of stuff. So if you're going to come on, though, you got to make sure that your microphone's working.
Yes.
Preferably you have a laptop. It just works better with. You can use your phone, but the laptop is usually works.
Well, you can have a desktop too. We won't mind.
Desktop, right? Just having a camera and a microphone set up. You have good internet, and nobody else is streaming anything on your internet. Those will be things that.
And then when you do get on, make sure you turn the volume off on your Facebook feed.
Oh yeah, that's right. To tune into when you jump into the show, you have to turn off Facebook or close Facebook, because otherwise you'll get the stream from Facebook and our voices from the green room here, or the waiting room. So you'll have to close Facebook once you get in here. So okay, well, let's start with Ray's dream. If she jumps in, I think Ray is going to
try. She said she's going to try.
And if not, then we can do it this way too. So, but if anybody else, if you have a short dream, you want to jump in, feel free to click that link and we'll take you in the order that you come. Okay.
All right. So Ray's dream is that John Thomas came over to her, touched her lips with an ice cube, and there was an angel standing behind him. I'm guessing that's a dream.
Yeah, well, I would imagine so. But I don't think John Thomas is in the business of touching people's lips with ice cubes in real life.
No.
So it could have been a vision, though, right?
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool.
John does do some odd stuff every once in a while.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You can't rule that out.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm wondering if did anything happen? Ray, if you can't jump in, that's fine. You can answer questions via the text too. When John touched your lips with an ice cube, did anything particular? Was it cold? Did it feel cold? What happened? Did the ice cube melt? Like, was there anything, or did it just happen? Was there a color to the ice cube, a shape to the ice cube?
Of course, when Isaiah gets his lips touched,
it's the opposite.
Fire, right?
Yeah. Oh, here's Ray.
Yeah.
Okay, looks like we can. So Ray, you can hear us, Ray? Okay, just shake your head, yes, because I can't hear you yet. You can hear us? Yeah. Okay. So you want to make sure you turn off the Facebook video, close Facebook or pause the video, or mute the video. And we're going to bring you right into the show. And then we'll ask you our questions and then go from there. Okay. So everybody welcome Ray Heights. Hey, Ray.
Hi, Ray.
Hey,
How's it going?
good. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Very good.
Okay.
All right, awesome. Okay, so first, I don't know if you heard our questions, but was this a dream? Was it a vision? I'm assuming John didn't come over to you actually and touch you with an ice cube.
No, and the angel was behind him. No, that'd have been a pretty good experience. Maybe
yeah,
it'll
that would have been.
weeks when I go to Texas.
Yeah. So this was a dream?
Yeah, it was in the middle of the night. So
Okay. So you were asleep and this happened.
Yes.
And you know that of course, when we say was this a dream or was this a vision, sometimes we've characterized dreams as being the thing that happens when we're asleep. But what really differentiates a dream from a vision is content. And something like this would be more of a vision. You just have it when you're dreaming, when you have,
Okay.
I'm assuming it was a pretty profound moment where there's an angel standing there and, it wasn't just like a ho-hum kind of experience. What happened with the ice cube? Did it feel cold? Was it a certain color or shape or what was the sensation, or did the ice cube melt?
I don't remember any sensations, and I'll be honest that it wasn't as profound as it seems like it might have been.
Sure.
So, yeah, I feel like I've had other things that seemed a little bit more profound. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know
Sure.
if it was necessarily an encounter or an experience. I think it was really just probably a dream. Or
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's a lot more vague than I wish it was.
Sometimes what happens with these experiences. So you don't remember, did you see the ice cube or there was any color or anything to it?
No, not that I know of.
Okay, he just walked up and touched your lips with an ice cube.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was just a knowing that it was an ice cube.
The other question would be, what's your interaction with John? How are you connected?
I am being taught by Streams Ministry right now. I'm in the year-long academy. I started with them about a year ago, dream interpretation internship, and now I'm doing the academy with them.
All right. Excellent.
Right. Yeah, that's really good. Was there color in general?
Honestly, the dream is so vague to me now. It's even one that didn't stick with me so strong that I can remember any of this stuff. So, yeah.
Right. Okay, good. So you don't remember what kind of color there was. Good.
No. Okay.
I'm
just trying to be super obedient right now and wake up as soon as I can wake up and write down anything that I know and I see.
Good. Right.
And so it was that type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Pops, I've got some ideas. You want to start off with it?
Well, I love this dream because of as you've described your connection with John Streams Ministry, that you're in a mentoring relationship, moving in a particular direction, and that direction is about speaking and engaging with revelation. Mm-hmm. And so John represents that guy who is helping you move towards the place that I'm assuming was already on your heart to do, but you found Streams Ministry to be the vehicle that was best the best vehicle you had for moving in this direction. So and John, with an angel standing behind him, is going to speak to not just the human presence or the human element, but a heavenly element as well. Mm-hmm. So there are two things at play here when he touches this ice cube on your lips. And so what is it? An ice cube, it's cold, it's refreshing. Melissa says it could be stillness. That's possible, but it's not. It's more of a like there's a refreshing and an ice being a form of water.
Mhm.
It is that sense of things not yet in their liquid element ready to go, but moving in that direction. So John is in your dream, um, John is the means by which you're engaging with heaven to accomplish the things that you want to see happen. And even though you're not quite there yet, you're it's how shall I say
It's
this?
happening.
It's happening. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's happening.
Yeah.
And it's going to get even better. That's the cool thing about what this is talking about.
Yeah. Ice preserves something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and it's like I said, and like my dad said, I mean, it's water that's not yet moving. And as soon as and naturally speaking, an ice cube, once it touches the lips, it starts to thaw,
Yeah.
right? And things start to move. So the things that you've seen in John, the heavenly things you've seen through streams, the things that have attracted you there, the things you say, I want to move in this kind of stuff. The beginning touches of that are happening. And that's what this is talking about, right? My lips are starting to be touched. So, and that's that what's been preserved in the spirit for me, I'm starting to engage with. And what's been placed in the spirit for me, I'm starting to engage with. Yeah, I like Lean in her comment. She says, cool things are happening.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool things are happening.
Yes. Yeah. And again, it's not like it's one thing. I mean, there's an obvious scriptural analogy, which is when Isaiah has his lips touched by a coal. And what that does, and that signifies, because this is purifying Isaiah. He says at the beginning of that whole encounter, he says, woe is me, I'm undone, I'm a man of unclean lips. Right. And so then this process for preparing him for a national level call is to purify his speech. Right. So there's an analogy there with scripture, but you're not being touched with a coal, you're being touched with an ice cube. It's almost the exact opposite in a way. So that's not to say that it's opposite in the sense that it's going, well, you're not being prepared for this or anything. But but my point is that in the context of Isaiah, there was a purification happening. In this context, it's not so much a purification as it is a warming up to the things of the spirit touching your lips and impacting your life. And so, but it is that it is that something significant is starting to happen in your life as it pertains to the things you're being touched by through John and streams and the academy and the mentoring, that kind of stuff. So, and I mean, the academy is a great group. I get the privilege of engaging with you guys sometimes. So,
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And actually, that was the first thing I thought of when I had the dream. Is I thought, okay, this reminds me of Isaiah, and I'm like,
Right.
ice does preserve. I know that ice preserves, and I'm like, okay, so my speech is. I was just thinking of it as my speech was being preserved for a future time or something. But like really getting a fluid understanding of it, I didn't. I mean, I felt like I understood the elements, but I really
Very good.
I would say this is one of those kinds of dreams that help you process a question. So internally, something like this would be the question I would hear in a dream like that. Am I actually going to get to the place I thought I was going to get to in the first place? Is this really going to happen? And the dream says, yeah, you're moving there.
Yeah.
Heaven and earth have come together to help you move in the place that it was in your heart to do in the first place.
Yeah, that's really encouraging.
And it doesn't need to start at like again, because the first thing we're thinking about is Isaiah, right? It doesn't need to start at my whole life is falling apart, like Isaiah says, right? Yes, he goes through this intense purification process to be prepared, but there's a much more tender touch in how God's preparing you and beginning to move in that sense. So
I also wondered a little bit. I know that there's been a prayer that I've had just that I literally have prayed to the Lord, like in Ezekiel, that if there's things I shouldn't say, that my tongue would literally stick to
Yeah.
the roof of my mouth.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be able to say that. And so I guess I was kind of looking at it like that as well. Was like, okay, are my lips being frozen right now from just speaking? Like, you know, right now it's just a time of you don't need to speak.
Yeah, and that's definitely it can definitely be a layer of that dream for sure, especially given that context. Is the Lord saying, okay, well, let's put things on pause right now. There's in the terms of preparation for service. Here, one of the things we think, and this is just a broader point, is that we think the best kind of ministry starts in learning how to speak well, or learning how to articulate what we're seeing or hearing or whatever well, right? But the best, the deepest, most profound, heart-moving ministry starts in silence. It always does. It always starts in silence because we have to learn to receive. We have to learn to be with before we learn to actually speak and give. There's every single one of the prophetic voices you see in scripture and then in history too, has spent some pretty significant time in silence being formed by God. And so it's very possible that your prayer, and then the response in the dream is, hey, let's spend some time just being silent and paying attention and seeing what the Holy Spirit's doing. So that could definitely be a layer of it, especially given that prayer. Yeah.
That's good.
I like that.
Yeah. I like to say it like this, that prophets should be more concerned with being silent than with being heard. Prophets should be more concerned with being hidden than being seen. And that kind of, or we don't have to use the words prophets, but people involved or people drawn to prophetic ministry should be more concerned about being silent than being heard and being hidden than being seen. And so you kind of see that in that, being touched with that, learning to be silent, learning to slow down, because the ice also slows down the movement of something, right? So learning to slow down and pay attention to the words that are being spoken.
Good. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So Ray, we bless you, and we bless you in your endeavors to grow and to be used and to be made useful for the Lord. And we just bless you to be led and to see and to hear all the things you need to hear and to know when the Lord's calling you to speak. And so we bless that whole process, Ray.
Thank you. Thanks,
You're
guys.
welcome.
Really appreciate you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay. We're gonna kick you out.
Yes.
All right. See you, Ray.
Bye.
All right. We have a dream from Deanna Ruppersberger.
Yeah.
Sorry, Deanna, if I butchered that. Are you on, Deanna? Do you want to? She was on, so let's make sure.
And again, if someone has a short dream they want to jump into, like Ray just did, jump into the Deanna's there. If they want to jump into the waiting room, we'll get them in and we'll talk with them through the dream. You can always see when we're able to do something face to face like that or video to video like that, we can dialogue a little more and go a little bit deeper. So there's a benefit to jumping in, even though I know it's late for most people, or especially people like
in their jammies,
they're in their pajamas. We won't bring up the embarrassment that happened 2 weeks ago. So,
okay. All right. She calls this dream Christmas Tiger. Oops.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Let me get it back up here. All right. I'm in a house with a lady I do not know and my aunt, or aunt, whichever you'd like to say. I prefer aunt. My aunt knows the lady. It's Christmas and there are gifts. I meet a guy at this house and he kisses me. There's a large tiger walking around the house. I'm sitting on a bed and the tiger is walking back and forth in front of me. I'm outside with a guy who kisses me again. It's sunny and warm outside and there is a white car there. The lady and my aunt are watching us from the front door. The guy says to me, "Let's make a relationship, become a couple." And she wakes up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yes. Very interesting. So first question that we generally would ask with a dream like this, or most dreams anyway, is was the dream in color? And I'm going to guess, because there's no mention of it being in black and white or grayscale or anything, that there was probably color in the dream. So anyway, was the dream in color? Could you describe the color? Was it muted color? Was it bright and vibrant color? Or was it just kind of normal color? And then the guy that you meet, bright color, do you know him? And let's see. Or is he you don't know the lady, but do you know, so you don't know him. Okay. Okay. Let's see. And what did you think when the guy said, let's make a relationship? Did you think, oh yeah, that's a great idea, let's do that? Or was it just did it just end there? And was the guy ever inside the house, or was he always outside the house? Those are questions. So, how did you feel about the making a relationship thing? And was the guy inside the house or outside the house? Or were you kind of like, I don't want a relationship with this guy? Or were you like, yes, I want a relationship with this guy? And please, more than yes or no answers, because I don't know which one. Just kind of ended there. He was not in the house. Okay, good. Yeah. So you didn't have a real feeling about, was the kind of tone or the atmosphere in the dream was just neutral. There was no, yay, this is happening, or whatever. It was just very neutral. Well, Lean asks the question, it was neutral, yeah, or neural. Sorry, I'm just, pointing out the spelling. I guess that's kind of the question I'm asking Karen. That's a good question. Did the kisses have some kind of impact? Like, did they were they emotional, or was it just like, nothing?
Just kissing me. Why is he kissing me?
Yeah. It was just and Lean, if it would definitely make a difference if she knew the person. Blah. Okay, so that wasn't like, yay, this is happening, right? Yeah. It was just like, oh, okay, good. So see, there's lots of questions that we have about these kind of things. And I noticed that we just had David Boda jump into our waiting room. So a longtime friend. So we'll have David on with his dream in a second. Or maybe he's just going to accost us. It could be. We don't know.
Could be. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and so what's interesting is you've got this kind of back and forth, right? You've got this, it should be a celebratory atmosphere, but then because it's Christmas and there's gifts. Hey, there's all kinds of cool stuff, like things are happening. But then you've got this like, oh, this guy kisses me, and to Deanna, she's going,
there's a
large tiger. Yeah. So the guy kisses you, and there's a large tiger, and the kiss is not like, yes, and so there's a couple different things here, right? Because it could be that if the kiss was like, yes, this is wonderful, I finally have this kiss, then we can talk about the issue of the soul, because we got this hyper emotional response, but we don't see a hyper emotional response in here. So we're trying to weigh through, what does this mean? But you've got this back and forth where there's this, and a kiss can mean like, kind of the next stages of relationship, right? Intimacy, we're coming, and which is what the context is here. And there's like this juxtaposition back and forth with the guy and the kiss, the tiger, the guy kisses you again, the tiger, and then in being in the bed anyway. So there's this back and forth between that's right, the tiger on the bed, because the bed would be a place of intimacy. So you've got the kiss, the tiger, the bed, the tiger, and then the guy, right? So there's just this back and forth. It's almost like this is this is what it kind of amounts to. So Dad, what are your thoughts on
I was looking at another thing there for a second. I I'm really impressed in this dream with a couple of things. First of all, I guess I should ask the question. Um, so the lady you don't know, but your aunt you do know, and your aunt and the lady are because this kind of sets up the dream that there's your aunt who you do know and someone that you don't know, and then you have a tiger and you have someone a man that you don't know. There's you're outside and he makes two advances to you in this sense, and neither of them is reciprocated necessarily, nor having much impact. It's like there's a lot of things trying to get your attention in this dream, get you into a particular place, move you somewhere, but none of it's working.
Yeah, that's good.
There's a tiger. It's Christmas. There's someone kissing you, but you end up in the same place like that. None of this is really doing it for me.
Right.
This just isn't quite what I'm looking for.
Right.
And I think that's kind of what the dream is talking about, is there's a lot of things going on in your life, but none of them is really the thing yet.
Yeah. And in fact, some of them would be kind of destructive and devastating.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, which is the tiger, right? And that's
Yeah.
there are advances to let's connect with something,
Yeah.
right? Let's be not this, it's kind of let's start moving on the stages of being intimate with certain things. Maybe because the guy's nondescript, so it's not necessarily a relationship, but it's maybe should I be more concerned about being in a relationship, or all the kind of pressures, the social pressures and all that kind of stuff. And it's going, actually, you know what, some of those social pressures that are presenting themselves, some of those maybe even family pressures that are presenting themselves, because you got your aunt there, it's like, yeah, there might be something behind the scenes there at work that's not necessarily helpful. And so there's lots of things going on, lots of things being presented to you. And I think I would look at it and go, I'm just going to be really patient about what I connect myself with right now.
And that's a really good way to look at it.
Yeah. Let's see. Deanna, let us know if that makes sense. It's the Christmas tiger, right? I just got that. Yeah. So this stuff should look good, but there's something behind the scenes that, well, maybe we should be pretty cautious about what we get involved.
Yeah, I mean, it's sunny and warm, and things are nice. The house, everybody's happy and friendly. The aunt and the lady are watching from the front door. Hi, kind of a.
You take the tiger out of the scene, and the dream feels a lot nicer.
Yeah.
Right. And all of a sudden you're with your aunt, you're opening Christmas gifts. You've got this guy proposing to you. There's new opportunities, this kind of stuff, right?
But there's
it's
a
always
tiger in the house.
Oh, there's something behind the scenes that I need to pay attention to, what that temptation is, or what that motivation is, or what that invitation is. Yeah. That's one of the, I can't quite, I'm not quite sure. I know John Paul, when he interpreted tigers, he generally connected them with issues of the soul, what we can do on our own strength and what we try and make happen on our own. I don't really know where he got that interpretation from. I'm just not sure.
John Paul.
I never was able to ask him. Right.
Yeah.
But I have seen that the tigers can, Amber, you can definitely, comment your dreams in the chat. Yes. I have seen tigers mean that occasionally. And so it could even be talking about different, heart motivations, that kind of stuff, or the things that I want to do, or the things that I'm, desirous of right now. And so maybe I pay attention to some of those things. Yeah.
And I want to say to Luke, hey, I really appreciate your comment there. Thank you for jumping in and just enjoying it with us.
Where was that? I
What's
like to
up a
know
little
people
bit?
are enjoying things that we're doing.
Yeah,
Well, that's good. Okay. I don't know where the comment is.
it's right in there.
Um, yeah. Um, oh yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got David C. Boda in the house.
David C.
And yeah, David, we should probably have
We've
David
got a
on the
couple
show.
of your other dreams to get to as well, so we'll try and get to you guys too.
Yeah. We'll bring David in. David, you can do, I think David put a couple dreams here in the private chat. Okay. So we're gonna bring David into the show, and
Boom.
well, oh my goodness, we
David's
gotta move
microphone.
over.
Here, I'll go over
There's-
here. I can go over
Okay,
here. Can you
David,
hear
more
me?
professional than you, Dad. Look at
I
this,
know he is. Well, I have a microphone.
and he's got a better
Oh, there
beard
it
than
is.
you. Yeah.
There it is. I love it.
Yes.
Beautiful. Hey guys,
Hey, David, great to see you.
good to see you. Thanks for having me
sure.
on the show. I feel
Oh, sure.
very. I'm honored.
Yeah,
I
good.
am.
I'm
I
glad
actually
to
am.
have
This
you.
is awesome. You
Well,
guys are doing great
you're
stuff.
like famous. You're famous, so
Oh, please.
you know, you're the David Moda. You know,
Please.
you're the one who. What was it? 6 months or so ago, you were spouting off all this information about German sweets or something like that.
Oh,
What was
yeah. It was
Yeah,
a friend of
so-
mine who's from Germany, and then I know her. So we were just having a private conversation in your
Yeah.
chat. That's just the way it goes.
I know. Yeah. So you're
Pretty
famous.
funny.
Your
Yeah.
reputation precedes you.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate whatever reputation that is. That's
Whatever
great. Thank you.
reputation that is. Yeah, I'll leave that to you to figure out.
Okay, sounds good. Wonderful.
Yeah. Wonderful.
I,
Good to see
I
you,
will only
David.
boast
Okay.
in Christ. I should only boast in Christ. But,
Yeah. Well, you're just
Anyways.
as good as Paul. You must be an apostle.
Oh, please. Stop right now. See, it was what John Paul Jackson used to say. It's like, if you start saying stuff like that, then I have to carry the burden and things are going to start happening. So ease back. Ease
Yeah.
back. It's great.
Yeah, well, I know how to foist things upon you. So
Oh, dear. What have you done?
yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Okay, David. You have a
Great.
dream.
I do. Do you want me to like read it or do you want me to?
Well, just tell it to us. Yeah, just tell
Okay,
it to
cool.
us.
So I mean, I always say my dreams are basic, but they tend to be not so much. So it's kind of a 3-part dream.
Okay.
So the first part was I was in the military in the middle of the woods with a couple of fellow soldiers. The sense that I got was I was kind of a bit higher rank than they were, but I wasn't like one of the, officers, so I guess I don't know
Sure.
what that would make me. There's different levels, the commissioned and non-commissioned members of the military. So,
Yeah.
so we stop a group. So it's kind of like an exercise, it's like that scene in Band of Brothers where they're pretending to invade, Europe, but they're not. So they're like stopping like farmers on the road and like pretending that they're like German spies or whatever. It was kind of like that.
Sure.
But they're in the middle of the woods, deep woods, and we stop a group of 3 women. And I just remember I'm kind of a sucker for details. Thankfully, the stream doesn't have too many. But I remembered that one of the women was dressed in a bikini, and one of them was in very conservative clothes. I don't remember what the third one was wearing.
Okay.
And so under the condition, yeah. So under the conditions of the exercise, I had to hold them for questioning. Basically, we're facilitating what it would be like if we were in a zone, occupying the zone, and then we had to sort of, what is the chain of command here? So the chain of command was I had to hold them until the officer came. Well, that was kind of annoying to them, I'm sure. But then the group and I set up a tarp on a hill because it started to rain. And we kind of all crowded underneath this tarp and set up our sleeping bags and, but the ground started giving way. So I didn't put this in here, but I was basically saying like, shouldn't we do this on a more flat surface? Like this isn't going to end well. There's like, 3 to 5 of us in this group. And, if the rain starts washing it away, then we're going to go down the hill. Like we're going to, fall down and
Sure.
whatever. So then I thought that we should have set up on a more flat patch of earth. So we're just waiting for the officers to arrive. We're trying to catch some sleep, make some food, trying to keep all these, people that we're stopping from like getting really, really mad at us. So that's the first scene. The second scene is of me. These were right after each other. So I don't know if they're related. They might be, they might not be, but
Sure.
I just thought I'd put it in there just in case. So in the second scene, I'm back at university and I'm wrapping up a semester of a master's program. I don't know what it was in because I assume that would be a question you'd ask me. I don't know what the master's program was in. But then I go to class and then after class, I go to meet with some group members. So we have like a group project that we have to do. We meet up in the cafeteria. I remember my buddy Robert kind of came in and out quickly. I can describe Robert really quickly. He's like 6'3" Jamaican, as Jamaican can be, a big buff dude. That's the way I describe him. And he's a fellow believer as well. I'm trying to maintain a high grade average. And I've received these 3 letters in the mail with the results of my classes, and all of them so far are A's. So I have straight A's so far. I think it might have been the first semester actually of a master's program. Actually, I have my notes here. Yes, semester. Yeah, I think it's the first semester of my master's program. So there you go. Okay. That's the dream.
Okay. So the first scene, 2 scenes, basically. First scene, you are taking care of, like in the military of some kind.
Yep.
And you are not a high ranking person, but you're definitely just above the, we'll say, privates that you have with you.
Right.
And so you have some responsibility for them, and you are kind of play acting what you're supposed to be doing, and training, that kind of stuff. And you stop 3 women. One of them's wearing a bikini, and one's wearing very conservative clothes.
Right.
And you need to hold on to them for questioning until the officers get there, because they're going to do the stuff. And you set up with the group under a tarp on a hill, and it's because it starts raining.
Right.
And then you're concerned that the water might wash you guys down the hill or make it difficult to stay there. And you're thinking, it would have been better. We should have set up somewhere else. Why'd we set up here?
Right.
And then the shifts, and you are in your master's program. You have completed or are getting your marks for some of the courses you're taking.
Yeah.
3 courses in particular. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it would be, because I got 3 letters for my 3
Yeah,
classes.
3 letters. Okay. Yeah. And they're all high marks. You're getting A's in each class.
Yep.
And so you're happy with that in the dream.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Extremely happy.
Yeah. Well, it's
what other thing? How many fellow soldiers did you have?
It would be kind of like a squad of soldiers.
Okay.
So like
All right.
3 to 5 of us, I think, ish.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I don't know if that's what I'm not in the military, so I don't know what the squad size.
But you don't remember the exact number of people that you were with?
No, but it was smaller.
Okay.
It definitely wasn't 10. It was like 3 to 5, I think.
right.
Plus.
Okay. And Canadian or American military?
Well, it's weird because now that I'm thinking back, I'm thinking we were in a jungle, like more like a jungle scenario, rather than like it was like forest, but it wasn't like it wasn't jungle, but it was like South American rainforest.
I mean, you and I have had lots of conversations.
Yeah, I know.
Canada, America, so it's kind of an inside joke question.
Oh, totally is.
Yes,
Absolutely.
So,
I would hope American, hopefully, but you know, I don't know. I don't know though.
Which one's more effective? That's what we'd have to ask, right?
Probably
neither. I think. Anyway,
neither.
Anyway,
we're not going to go there.
Yeah. So that it's interesting because the second scene tells you something about the first scene. They are connected, right?
Yeah.
The second scene is you're in. You didn't know what kind of program it was. You said, right? Like, which would you prophesied that would be a question we'd have for you, but you didn't know, so you answered that already. Yeah, which is fine. It's a higher learning program, right? It's not a college, it's not a high school diploma or degree. It's not this is like you're starting to get into the kind of learning that's preparing you for something much more notable. Or that would be a master's degree, right? You haven't completed the master's degree, but you're in the training for something more notable, right? So what the second scene tells us is the manner of training is what's happening in the first scene. The first scene is what you're learning. Okay. The second scene is that you are learning and being prepared for something great. And the way that you're learning is, we'll just I'll just sum this up simply, right? Is you are being tasked with things that seem beyond your ability or beyond your authority, and you have to navigate some of the problems that come with them.
Oh yeah.
And
and also you have,
go ahead, Dad.
You have 3 tasks, 3 women, and 3 grades.
Yeah, there you go. That's really good, Dan.
Interesting.
And so, and also, so you can, so it's not just higher learning, which is true, It's also the master's school.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
the master's school. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So you have 3 activities. You're supposed to hold people. You need to call the chain. You need to check in on the chain of command and find out how this thing works. And the third thing is you need to find a safe place to set up, because what the initial place wasn't adequate. So working with people in how do you navigate that? How do you navigate the chain of command? In other words, how do you navigate
and working with people
working
with people with wildly different manners of life.
Right.
That's
right?
my life.
Yeah.
That's my entire life
Yeah.
right there in a nutshell.
And then understanding how to make that work. All the aspects, all the activities of how do you make that work.
Oh yeah.
And here's the cool thing: you got an A in every class.
Well, that's good to know. I feel like I'm getting Fs across the board. That's
well,
really nice.
And there comes the dream. There's the dream, though.
Yeah.
The dream is I feel like I don't have the authority to do this. I don't have the credibility to do this. I don't have the I don't know how to carry the responsibility for this. And the dream's telling you, even though you don't feel you're doing it all right, you're excelling in the way the way I see you. Jesus saying the way I see you accomplishing this. You're actually excelling. And so these are essentially letters from heaven saying you may feel like you aren't being able to, you can't do this because throughout it you can kind of sense the frustration, right? Is like,
oh yeah, I was very frustrated in the first part.
I gotta wait, and these people are gonna get frustrated with me.
And everyone hates university projects because we know how it goes when you have groups of people in college or in university, and you're like you want to be a high performer. It's tough. It can be very tough.
Yeah, that's right. So even though you think, I don't know if I'm navigating all these well, I don't know if I'm doing all these well, I don't know if I'm carrying myself well, the Father's saying, absolutely, you got an A in my book. Yeah. And this is him. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is him saying, well done, my good and faithful servant. And just to check in on the way, right? You're not through the whole program, but
the
task
semester.
Yeah, the first semester, right?
Started. Yeah.
But the tasks that are being given to you,
boy.
You're
if this is the first semester, I don't know what the second semester is going to be like. The first semester.
Or just wait till you're an officer, because then you'll get the other perspective. Why the officer is not there yet.
No.
Boy. It's a great dream. Really, it is this.
It really is.
Don't worry about tomorrow. Today has enough worries of its own.
That's right.
There we go. I like it.
Yeah.
Stay present.
That's right.
I like
right. Wonderful. So, Father, we just bless David.
Thank you.
We bless him in that space of not knowing and the pressures of tasks that were being given and all those things, and wrestling with those and wrestling with expectations and everything. Father, we just bless him to rest in you, and that you see him and say, that's my boy and I'm proud of him. And so we bless David to just receive that love, that acceptance from the Lord, that blessing from the Father that says, hey, you're doing good in my books. And so, Father, thank you for him. Yeah.
Thank you for you.
Yeah. Wonderful. David.
That was awesome.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
It's funny. I had that dream like a month ago and I needed it right now. So that was excellent.
I love how that works. Yeah.
It's great.
Wonderful, David.
Well, bless you both.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bless you too,
David.
Yeah.
Talk to you soon. Peace out.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's jump on this dream.
Okay.
Real quick here.
Yeah.
Lane had this dream. Again, another kissing dream. Here we go.
Oh, okay. So this is our theme, I guess.
Not a taco. We thought it might be tacos tonight.
Right. But tacos kind of look like lips, right?
Yeah, that's true. But Lean said I had a dream in my friend's house, upper room. Upper room. He kissed me like I could still feel it as I woke up, in front of all his friends. I said, no, we can't. And he turned his whole body towards me and kissed me again, even deeper. So the questions are, of course, who would her friend represent?
Yeah, and
who would be great.
And we're guessing that this is a friend that you actually have taco lips. Yes. we're guessing the friend is someone you actually know. He was drunk in the dream. Okay. That's what Lean says. He was drunk in the dream.
Okay.
Is that what you're saying? He was drunk in the dream, and so
Did we do this dream before?
I don't
like we
think
did.
so. It doesn't sound familiar to me.
Okay.
So Lean, can you clarify that? You're saying he was drunk in the dream, and like not I've never seen him drunk in real life, but he's drunk in the dream. Yeah, okay. So he's drunk and he kisses you, and in front of all his friends, and you said this is not right. Oh, she shared it last time. Okay. Yeah, you've seen it before. He does this in front of all his friends while he's drunk, and it says and you said no, we can't do this, and he just presses it even more. And you said you were you were shy. So is there any, that you always have to ask the question with something like this, is there any romantic interest there on either side? So that's because if there isn't the natural romantic interest, that can influence what we dream about. So yes, there is romantic interest. Yeah. So given, I'll say this, so there's, in the dream, you're saying you were shy in the dream, so there's emotions involved. There's, I kind of like this, but I don't know. Should we do this? All this kind of stuff, right? Is all in the dream. So I'm imagining that in your daily life, you're thinking about this. I'm guessing since you said yes, there is romantic interest, so that would be on your side. A dream like this doesn't necessarily affirm or confirm any way other than you have these feelings that are being played out. And so it's not saying yes, it's not saying no, because the fact that he's drunk, if we're going to interpret that, we'd want to go, well, this guy's off his rocker, right? But there's so much emotion laced into it. There's so much of the romantic desire and everything that it's just one of those dreams that's saying there's feelings there. And I don't know if you see anything different than that, Dad, but there's feelings there. What do you think?
No, I think you're right.
I wouldn't read too much into it, is what I'm saying. Either negative or positive. Negative in the sense that he's drunk.
Which he never is, but
yeah, which he never is. I just don't know. I'd read too much into it. So
I mean, you might say that no, I just won't. I don't want to.
Well, I wonder now. Lean said something. She said I moved away from the area and forgot him. So, okay. So, and then I need to clarify something. How long ago was the romantic involvement? Are we talking like years and years ago? And when did you have the dream? Did you just have the dream recently, and then this kind of situation where there was romantic feelings, that kind of stuff, was years ago, or what? And you don't have anything to do with him now? Like, let's clarify some of that. Can you describe that? Because if that's the case, it might be a little bit different, right? I thought you were describing a present situation, and if I might be wrong with that. You had it weeks ago. Okay, she had the dream weeks ago. And when was this situation with this friend? And was you moved? Okay, so it wasn't that long ago. Moved at the start of this year. Yeah, yeah. So I would just moved at the start of this year, and for years there was kind of was it a mutual desire? Was some feelings that you held? That's a question. Moved to the start of this year, and it was happening for years. So was there an actual relationship there, or no? That's just desire on your side. That's one of the questions too. I'm still kind of leaning toward you're sitting at a big green table. I don't know, Dad, if you have anything beyond that, but I'm still kind of leaning towards there was no relationship.
Leaning towards.
Leaning towards the same, I wouldn't read too much into it.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. There's nothing that, I mean, you can't say he represents Jesus, because Jesus would not be one who's drunk
Right.
and out of control. It's something that didn't happen, and maybe she's still thinking about it. I don't know. She just has to kind of work that one through herself. Like,
Yeah,
why
I mean,
would I dream this? I don't see this as a deeply spiritual dream. I see it more as just one of those inner workings of what ifs kind of dreams in our how would I respond? How would I be in this situation? What would happen? That kind of thing. So,
well, I think simply put, that it also underlies the fact that humans in general, Lean being a human, we want to be loved.
Right.
We want to be given
Right.
affection. There's a deeply human craving that's absolutely beautiful and essential to the human life, to be loved, to be cherished, and for affection to be poured out. And that, that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing, right? That's a beautiful thing. And that's you think about the desire of humanity to be loved and to be known and to be seen. It's like, it's a reflection of our ultimate purpose, to be known and to be seen, to be loved by the Father. And so all those are really good things. But in the dream, you've got a drunk person pressing.
Well, she says drunk in the spirit.
Well, she says, I thought drunk in the spirit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which would be different. So if it was, then that's it's still overwhelmed by the spirit, sort of a thing.
We want that. Karen says we want that loving to be in a healthy way,
right,
not demonstrated in front of friends, not pressed on in front of friends. This isn't in necessarily a healthy way, right?
Right.
It's affection in the wrong place, and so if anything, it is Lean, you have a deep desire to be loved and to be wanted, and that's a beautiful, holy, healthy thing. Right. And it would be devastating to look for it to be fulfilled in the wrong places.
Yep.
Find it in the Father, and then find people that walk in the same way that you do. Love with the Father, passionate for the Father, walking with Jesus.
Yep. Hey, I don't think we're going to have time to get to Ingrid's dream. I know you really want it done, Ingrid. I'm sorry.
We'll get to it next week. We'll be there. We'll put it at the top of the list.
Yep. So, but this one we can do very quickly, and then we'll probably be our last one. Okay. So Amber says, I have tornado dreams often that are warning dreams for my family. Normally, when the tornado is coming, we always seek shelter and the tornado misses us. Last week in a dream, there were several tornadoes that were almost water spouts that were headed towards us. This time, we didn't try to seek shelter, and before they got to us, they were sucked back up in the clouds. So she has these dreams where there's danger impending, but it never damages or destroys her family or her relationships. But there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of swirling about here.
Yeah. So and I love this. That even when it comes out of the blue and you don't even understand, in the other ones, you guys can prepare and protect yourself. In this one, all of a sudden it was there. We didn't have time. We didn't have time to seek shelter. We didn't know where to seek shelter. We didn't try to seek shelter, but you were still protected.
Yeah.
And I just love the graciousness of the Father in this. Is, even difficult things seem to be happening when a dream like this happens. Difficult things seem to be swirling around. The Lord's showing you, I've got this. Don't worry. I'm going to protect you. And even you may feel exposed. You may feel like you don't have, you're not in the right place or whatever. The Lord's saying, I'm going to take care of this.
You may feel overwhelmed, like it's about to take you out. But
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Right.
And it's kind of like, it seems like in a dream like this, you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize that was coming. Right. It just,
yeah.
Well, maybe we would have
We'd have found shelter.
We would have found shelter. Yeah, that's right. It's so overwhelming. This stuff's going to take me out. But last second, God's like, nope, not going to let it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Josh, we've come to the end here.
We have
some dreams we're not able to get to, and we apologize for that, you guys.
But as always, we put them on a list, and we will get them to them next week. But you have to be on for us to get to them next week. Yeah, if you're not on, then we're going to prefer someone who is on.
We will.
Yeah,
it's true.
Not that we prefer them in the sense of thinking they're more important than you, but they're there to answer the questions. So if you're not there to answer the questions, then it's hard to dive through it. So,
well, now that you've come back from your retreat, would you like to pray this out of this retreat atmosphere to everybody here? Just pray over people. Pray silence over us all.
Yeah, silence over us all. Yeah, silence.
Monastery silence.
Monastery silence. Yeah, for those of you that were with us last week, or the week before, I think I was. Yeah, I was at a monastery Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It was wonderful. Let me just do one last healing the wounded heart. I'm going to put this up here for those of you that joined a little bit late. We've got this. We have, here we go. We have the training coming up, an online event with myself, my dad, and both of our wives. Some of you guys know Erin, as she's been on various different things we've done. And actually, Teresa was on a dream show a long time ago, early on. So anybody that's been following the dream show for the last 2 years would have seen Teresa on before, but it's been a while. So we're doing this event coming up August 26th and 27th, which is Friday and Saturday at the end of the month. So you got a few more weeks, and we're going to be talking about issues related to healing and how that happens and how we go about growing through that, both practical, theological, putting some framework around that. And so it's going to be a really good time. Take a look at the link. And if registration, if finances are an issue, just send us a message. We'll work with where you're at. So, but take a look there, and looking forward to that event happening soon. So yes, with that said, I will pray. Father, I just thank you for the fact that you made us all, that you made us all to grope after you and to long for you and to pursue you. And the truest pursuit of humanity is to be known by you and to know you. And so I just thank you that people show up here because they want to know how you're speaking to them. They want to know how you're coming to them. And we reason through those things and revelate through those things and try and figure those things out together. And Father, I thank you for your grace and your spirit. And I ask that you as the scriptures say, that your spirit gives utterance when we don't know what to say. So we just ask that you would pray in us, that your spirit would be active in us, and that in those night seasons that would come alive to the fact that your spirit is active and working and moving, and we would be aware of that and conscious of that. So Father, I ask that each person increases in their attunement to you and their attachment to you. I bless them, I bless their lives, and I bless their response to you. In Jesus' name,
Let it be.
Amen.
Let it be so. Amen.
Let it be. That's right.